Hey everybody, this is Bruce. I'm going to be doing this session alone today. Yuri's on her way back from Texas. She had to do a trip to one of her friends. So I'm going to try to keep this one short because it's really hard to do these by myself. But let's do it. So this is a K-1 green card chat that we do every week, once a week. We help one another out going through this process. My wife, who is a Filipina, is still going through part of the process. She's going through the green card process. So basically, we all just share what we know and we help one another out. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an authorized consultant, but neither is anybody else on this group. We're just a bunch of people who have been through this process and do this together. We've got YouTube here. What's up, YouTube? We got Facebook over here. Say hi to one another. Facebook, YouTube, Facebook. There you go. So if you want to have a little bit more interaction, join us on YouTube. And the link for that is YouTube.com/Yuri Bruce. And you should see my live going right now. It's just easier to do more interaction over there. All right, let's get into this. First of all, let's see who we got on. We've got one person on Facebook. Jen is watching. We've got Jay Barnes. How you doing? We got Ancient Aliens Andy, good evening. We got Mamu, how you doing? We've got Alfrich, how you doing? Mr. Mike T Man, Semperfi, how you doing? Mark Spears, and that's it. Kind of got a light crew today, so we're gonna keep this super short. But actually, I have gotten a couple questions that I haven't addressed yet, and one is actually on my phone, so I'm using my phone to do the live, so I'll have to get back to that one later. All right, let's see what we got going on here. This right here, over here on the right, is a book that Yuri and I are working on. It's gonna be, it's like a reference guide to get you through the whole process, walks you through the whole process from start to finish. And so we'll let you guys know about that soon. We've been working really hard on it, and it actually is accompanied by an entire package of things that you can do along with a audio version of the book. So be looking out for that. We'll let you guys know when we release that. Is this live right now? Yes, this is live right now. This is absolutely live. This is live on Facebook and on YouTube, and I'm gonna take questions. So this is a great opportunity. If you're going through anything, it's not just me who's answering the questions. Remember, this is hundreds of people that we're talking to that will see this video at some point. So you're asking the question out to everyone. And a lot of times your question is the same question someone else has, so you should never be shy about asking the question. And when we put it out there, like I said, lots of people are going to see it, and lots of other people can actually help you out. Let me see if I can find a just give me a quick minute to see if I can find that question. I have to switch screens here. Josefa, how you doing? Hello, good sir from the Philippines. Malcolm Brady, how you doing? I'm just screen must went blank just now. I'm just trying to find a question that I had, kind of an offline question. I'm pretty sure I can answer it. Facebook. I think it was a Facebook question. Somebody messaged me. Yeah, and I apologize, guys, for not being able to answer quickly. I get a lot of messages, and Yuri and I both have like a full-time job and everything, so you know I can't always get to the messages quickly. But we're trying to help. We're trying to change that by getting this book out, so where we can really focus our help. All right, so let me see. I got this question here. Okay, so somebody, Alex says, "Hi Bruce and Yuri, I'm back from the Philippines, but now I need to fill out the form I-129. I need the step-by-step to fill out the forms. Thank you." Alright, so for that, what I'm going to do, Alec, is give you a link to a free resource that you can use that kind of walks you through it step-by-step. If you have any questions about it, and I'm sure you will, you can ask people on this forum, or you can actually join our group, which is Visa Approved Group on Facebook. So feel free to join us there. All right, and I got another question popping up, but I got to get this link real quick for Alec. All right, let's see here. We're going to switch back over here to the intro screen. And I'm going to put a, Alec, I'm not sure if you're on this chat, but I'm going to try to put your, what I'm trying to do is give you a link, Alec, if you ever see this, to a link to one of our favorite resources, which is Visa Approved Group. Actually, let me just go ahead and I'll just show you here on the screen. Or actually, it's Visa Journey, visajourney.com. We're not sponsored by visajourney.com. We can't guarantee that success is going to happen just because you go to visajourney.com. But it is a free resource, the best free resource out there, in my personal opinion. But here's the guides, Alec, if you ever see this. It's going to walk you step by step through your K-1 if you have it. This, you just click this one. It says K-1 Fiance. It kind of explains it to you, walks you through a lot of the things that you need to have. Down and dirty, but it's free. It's the best free resource out there aside from the government sites. The government sites are kind of all over the place. That's one of the problems that I have with it. If you guys didn't know, we have a YouTube page, and you should like and subscribe this video at once. When you like and subscribe, just so you know, when there's serious YouTubers that put out consistent content that you watch and that are helping you out, it's really helpful to just put a thumbs up. You don't always have to donate or anything like that, but the thumbs up and the comments help that YouTuber to get boosted up in the rankings of YouTube. So if you could, just hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button for us, check us out. You know, if nothing else, come by and say hi. All that stuff helps. And actually, I want to personally thank all these people you see going across the screen, like William G, Lena's World, Jay Barnes, Legs Diamond, Arts Plays. These are all other YouTubers and all admins and all these other guys who have really helped us out along the way, have encouraged us to keep going, to keep putting out this kind of content, to keep on interacting. And that's really helpful because it lets us know, hey, these guys really want this kind of stuff. And that's what keeps us going. So thank you. Special thanks to all you subscribers that have donated, all of you Patreons, all you guys. I always put your names. I don't know if you noticed, but on the end of our videos, we always put your names out there. We always plug you. Even if you're not watching, we're watching you. Giving props back. Okay, so it looks like I got another question here from Jazzy. Says, and this is on YouTube or Facebook, says, hi Bruce, does the EAD AP process timeline still within the 90 days? No. Mine is 94 days active and still my case was received status. Do I need to call the USCIS? Okay, Jazzy, so I think I understand your question. So you're talking about the 90-day the 90 days is only to get married. So if you're on a K-1, I'm assuming you're on a K-1 visa and you're in the United States, the 90 days that they give you is just to get married. You have a 90-day period to get married. That's what they mean. After the 90, let's say you get married, you've met all the conditions of the K-1, that part of the process is done. Your next step is going to be to file something called an adjustment of status. That's form I-485. And there'll be other forms that are, it'll kind of walk you through it as you're doing the form, and they'll ask for different evidence and things like that. You put that package together and you put that one forward. Now, when you do that, you don't have a, that one does have a timeline, but it's like, I'll just give you an example. Somebody we know, that person that you're actually visiting, they took like a year to get to do that I-129, that adjustment of status form, and they now have a green card. So there's a lot longer time frame that you have to get the green card, to apply for the green card after you get the, so you got married, you met the 90-day period, so get that out of your mind. You're done with that. Now the next step is going to be to do the adjustment of status to get a conditional green card. That's your next step. So good luck with that. Good luck. Let me see if we have any other questions. We've got Arthur Carlson. If you guys didn't know, Arthur Carlson is a supporter of this channel and also has a YouTube channel, so go check him out. Go give him a like and subscribe. Give him a big thumbs up, because We love all the support he's given us. Let me see. I've got another question here. I haven't heard of the K-1 visa before. Would you be able to explain exactly what a K-1 visa does? Yeah, absolutely. So K-1 visa, I'll give you a elevator speech on it. K-1 visa is a fiancé visa. So what it does is, if you're a U.S. petitioner, or I'm not going to use any jargon here. If you're a citizen or a naturalized citizen of the United States, and your wife, your future wife, lives in Philippines, or lives in Spain, or lives in Portugal, or some other country, and you want to marry your fiance, that means you're already engaged, you already have a relationship, you want to marry your fiance, but you want her or him to come to the United States. The United States has a program called a K-1 visa. So it allows a U.S. citizen or naturalized citizen to petition or request from the government that they bring their fiance over to the United States so that they can get married. Now there are rules. You have to, of course, be available to marry. Like, you can't be already married or be, going through a divorce. You have to actually be divorced. You have to be single. That's one rule. Another rule is that you have to have met in person within a 2-year period. Another rule is, help me out, guys. Another rule is you have to make enough money to actually take care of your spouse once they get in the U.S. You have to at least make the poverty level. So that depends on what state and how many people you have in your household. And I'm trying to think of another rule. You have to get married within 90 days of your foreign fiance coming to the United States. So the K-1 just allows your foreign fiance to come to the U.S. to get married. And that's it. Let me see. Dante says, I haven't heard of the K-1. Okay, I already answered that one. Arthur says, sorry I missed you guys last week. I was studying for the FAA. Congratulations on getting your drone pilot's license there, Arthur. I have to come over there and visit you. You could teach me some stuff. Let me see. Anthony Taylor says, Bruce, what's the average wait time on K-1 these days? I filed in November 2017. All right, so anybody can tell you, Anthony, it's taking a lot longer from the time that we did it. We did it in 2014. It used to only take 4 to 6 months. Now it's taking about 8 to 9 months. 8 to 9 months. Correct me if I'm wrong, group. Anybody out there on Facebook, on YouTube? I can tell you that Lena's World, Steve from Lena's World, he just got his wife to get, I think they're in the medical process. They're about to schedule the interview, so they're actually on the downside of that time frame. But his is taken about 9 months so far, 8 or 9 months. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lena's World. So yeah, it's taken a bit longer. That's the average time. That site gives you like a running average. This site here gives you a running average of how much time it's taken. If you go to here, let me enlarge this here if you can see it. But this is a visa journey again. Once again, the best free resource online. Processing times is the tab I just went to. If you go here, you'll see a running average of the U.S. CIS processing times, consulate processing times, things like that. And I think there was another one that broke down actual timelines for the entire process for K1, K3, and CR1. Yeah, here it is. Immigrant timelines. Yep, so check this out. So go ahead and check this site out if you want to know the times. Like, they can only give you an average because everybody's situation is different. Every case is different. You're going to have different COs. So, nobody can guarantee you this process will even work for you. No one can guarantee you that. So, and also nobody can tell you exactly how much time it's going to take. They can only give you ballpark figures. All right, let me go back to, where's my screen here? Okay, there we go. All right, let me see. We got on Facebook, we got Christopher who says, took us a year because of St. Luke's. They are scammers. So there you go. There's another one that took a year. I know that a couple of people that we know have taken 8-9 months is what it's looking like right now on average. And keep in mind there can be delays. Like if you didn't get, like let's say you forgot to put your birth certificate in, you'll get something called a request for evidence, and that will add like another month onto your process. All right, and if you're joining me late, guys, anybody out there joining me late, I'm talking about the K-1 green card process. We do this about every week. I say we, my wife's not here right now, so I'm holding down the fort. We do this every week. We try to do it every week, and this is just facilitating a conversation so we can all come together, answer questions together, because we're all going through this process. I'm not a lawyer. We're not lawyers. We're not, thank God, we're not lawyers. We're not authorized consultants, but we do help one another out, and there's nothing against that. That's not against the law. So let's just keep on going here. Let me see if there's any other questions that we as a group can answer. Let's see. Fred M says, what is the name of the Facebook group? That's an easy one. The name of the Facebook group. Here, I'll just let me see if I can go there without disturbing our thing here. It is Facebook. And then you go to, you can just search visa approved. And let me just go ahead and enlarge this for you. Switch screens. This is the page right here. I'm an admin, of course, the owner of this group, but it's got 27,000 members, or 27,000 people have been in and out. They don't like usually hang out unless it's our members. But let me just go ahead and send you the link here. Bear with me. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that in the troll box there. There we go. All right, let's get rid of the Inception stuff going on in the background. So yeah, that's it. Sorry guys, I'm live. I got my kids going nuts back here. But let's see if there's any other questions here. Let me see. Another question is, hey, you skipped my question. All right, let me see. Okay, let me go back up. Sorry about that. Xavier says, why didn't you go with the spousal visa route? Okay, good question. So the reason, Xavier, Yuri and I didn't go to the spousal route is because at the time, the fastest way for us to be together was to do the K-1. At the time. Now it's different. K-1's taken as long as CR1 or anything like that. If we had to do it all over again, we probably would have gone to the CR1 route because they take about the same amount of time. CR1 takes about 12 months. K1's taking about, just the K1 portion of it is taking 8 to 9 months. Somebody just said a year. Christopher over here on Facebook said a year. So the time factor is not like, it's not helpful anymore. I mean, the reason why we decided not to get married and then go ahead and do it that route was because at the time, the K-1 was the fastest way. The spousal visa took a longer time. And another thing I would say is, like, if you haven't known each other a long time and you're not like, I mean, you love the person, but you guys haven't like lived together for a long period of time, you should probably go the K-1 route, because the K-1 visa gives you the option of, once your fiance comes to the United States, you guys have 90 days to live together and decide if you still want to get married, if you still want to go through with it. And it gives the foreign fiance a chance to like recognize whether or not she can adapt to this other strange country. You know, that is a factor, believe it or not. But when they come here, you know, it's so different. You know, it's so different that sometimes people can't adjust and they want to go back home. So we've heard of that happening several times before. Christopher says St. Luke said that they thought she had a TB. Oh yeah, that'll add like 4 more months to your process. Tuberculosis is what that is, and had to do more tests. Then got here in Florida, and they had to go to CEC Health Department, and they X-rayed and double checked, and they said that whoever took the X-ray in the Philippines needs to go back to school. Oh, so they messed up basically and thought that she had tuberculosis. So yeah, tuberculosis can't stop you from going. It does, but it does delay you. All right. So I hope that answers your question, Xavier, about why we chose to do the K-1. Let me see if there's any other questions. Let me see here. SD, how you doing? Social Security disability check around 900. Can I live in the Philippines? I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong, guy. I don't want to go off topic here, but I think so. SD, maybe that's a topic we can have on another video. But yeah, I think that you could live on $900. Ideally, it seems like about $1,200 a month is where you want to be. 12 like $1,500 or something. But if you can live, if you're willing to live cheap and you're not like a diva, then yeah, you could probably live on $700, $600 a month. You know, if you live out in the woods and catch, get berries and stuff to eat and drink from the rivers. I'm joking. Okay, let me keep it on topic. James Brown says, "Hey Bruce, just to show you how slow the NVC is, they just replied to a letter in the mail that I sent them last year, a year and a half ago. My wife is already here and has her green card. Good thing I didn't wait for them." Yeah, you know, James Brown, that was one thing that Yuri and I were not doing. Like, and to this day, we don't rely on the government for anything. Like, they lay the foundation down and the policies, and you know, it's as citizens, our responsibility to kind of abide by the laws and the policies of a given country or whatever country we're in. But if you're going to wait on the government, including the United States government, I'm sad to say, you're going to be waiting for a long time. They make mistakes. There's a bunch of civil servants there, and not talking bad about civil servants, but sometimes they're just there sitting back, collecting a check. I know that because I've worked with them for like 20 years. There's some of them are not good employees. The system is kind of messed up in different departments. You can't wait for them. You should learn on your own, and that's why Yuri and I are writing this book to show people, hey, this is what you do. Here are the laws. Here's how you do it step by step in plain English. Don't wait on them. Like, know what the laws are. And even if you have a lawyer or a consultant, if you went to Rapid Visa or Visa Coach or who are these guys that are doing your package for you, even if you go through those, my advice to you is to know it well enough to know if they're jerking your chain. Know it well enough to know that, hey, you know, why didn't you send in my birth certificate? Know it well enough to know everything that you're supposed to do, because this is your future, you know. So like James Brown said, like, he didn't wait on them. They just sent him something, a reply from a year ago. Don't wait on them. Know what the laws are and then go for it. Okay, let's see. Dante says, thanks for the brief information. Wonder if the processing would be the same in Canada. Yeah, I'm not sure about Canada. We have a couple Canadians, and you guys Canadians that follow us can chime in on whether or not it seems like a similar process as far as a K-1. I'm not even sure if Canada has a fiance visa. I know they have a spousal visa, and so does the UK, but I don't know if they have a fiance visa. Hey, Lena's World. Hey, Steve, how you doing? We got our moderator, resident moderator, Steve, in the house. If you guys didn't know, Steve has his own YouTube channel. Check it out. It's about relationships between an American and beautiful lady from the Dominican Republic. The Wallace Life, how you doing? Also a YouTuber. I Harvey, hello Bruce. Where's Yuri? Yuri's actually on her way back from Texas. She'll be here later tonight. I gotta go pick her up. Juan 2, how you doing? Thank you for your donation last week. Really appreciate that. He says it's a lot of work just getting the paperwork done. Just be meticulous, you know, double check your work, and you'll get through it. Fred M says, what about coming over to the U.S. on a tourist visa to see if you get along? That's a great idea. So from some countries, that's much easier because they have what's called a visa waiver program, and they allow you to go to this electronic system that allows you to just come to the United States and visit for, like, I don't know, 30, 90 days, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But if you're from the UK, from Canada, from basically almost any European country, some countries from Africa, some countries from Southeast Asia will allow you to do it. But the Philippines, I can tell you, the Philippines does not allow that. Some of the developing countries don't have a. You have to. It's harder to get. Let me put it to you this way. From the Philippines, and I'll give you a specific example. The Philippines, it's harder to get a tourist visa, because you have to have a certain amount of money in the bank, and you got to prove that you have that certain amount of money in the bank. The fee is easy. It's like $160 or whatever. And we do know Filipinos who have done the tourist visa. It's just that you have to show that you have ties in your home country. You got to show property, a steady income, a certain amount of money in the bank, a certain amount of assets, things like that. But yeah, you can do it if your fiance has all those things. I says, 1, I agree, especially when you get a 221G after your interview, more delay. That's true. Simplify, who also has a YouTube channel, check him out. Simplify 1918 says, my girlfriend wants to get married in the Philippines. Okay, so you might want to consider the CR1 option for a spousal visa. At least that's what I would do if I was in your situation. Of course, make sure you know each other and give it time. Don't rush it. Like you said in our video, by the way. Let's see. K-1 interview Tuesday. Oh, wow. So Steve's fiance, who's from the Dominican Republic, has her interview on Tuesday. Man, that's great news. I'm glad to hear that. And thank you, Instigator, for that $20. Really appreciate. This video is sponsored by Instigator from Tennessee, by the way. Really appreciate that. Let me see. Let's keep going. Got some stuff popping up here. Oh, let's see. We got something in the Facebook troll box from Christopher, who says the I-129F costs more. It's cheaper to get the CR1, about $1,500 cheaper. I'm not sure how much cheaper it is, but it is cheaper to do the CR1. It takes longer to get the CR1, but if you include the green card, it's actually shorter. Because what happens is you got the K-1 process, which is now taking anywhere from 9 to 10 months to do, right? But then once your fiance gets here in the United States and you have 90 days to get married, there's a separate process that can take up to another year and cost another $1,000. So that's the green card process. A conditional green card is what you have to have when you're coming off the K-1. So yes, it's a bit faster, but now it's like not that much faster anymore since it's taken so long. CR1, on the other hand, your fiance has to stay in his or her home country while you work the process. But once you're done with the process and they're on their way to the United States, once they get to the United States, they're issued a green card, a conditional green. Is it a conditional green card or a 10-year green card? I'm not sure which one. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, CR1 people. So thanks for that information, Christopher. Let me keep going through the troll box here on YouTube. And I've got, thank you for your information. Jennifer, how you doing, Jennifer? Says, Bruce, me and my boyfriend Sam is in Cebu. Oh, magandang gabi. And now we are watching you. Just had dinner with Purple Shadow last night. She is an awesome Cebuana. Oh, really? That's crazy. Small world. Let's see. Who else do we have here? Okay, looks like we got a technical difficulties on here on Facebook, so I'm just gonna restart that. Okay. Let me see what else Wallace Life says. You have to keep calling the USCIS in order for the government to stay on top of your case. If not, your packet will stay at the bottom of the queue. Yeah, you know, if you need to know your process well enough to know things like I know I just sent my package. I'm a K-1 visa, going through the K-1 visa process, right? And this, I'm just explaining to you what Aaron and I did. I sent my package to the to the USCIS. It got approved. USCIS, I knew, had to send that to the National Visa Center. So, and I knew that from just reading and researching and watching YouTube videos, just like you guys. I was just had to dig that information up myself. They did eventually send me a letter. The National Visa Center sent me a letter like a month later saying, hey, you need to call us and you need to do this and that and this, right? But I already knew it. I'd already done all that stuff. So I knew that I had to call them and get a case number for my wife, or my future wife, Yuri, and then start the work in the process. And I'd already started her working out on what she needed to get prepared for that interview. Both of us were working as a team to get through it. So yeah, don't put your fate in the hands of the government for anything. Know the laws, know the policy, but don't put your fate in their hands. You know, it's not their job to get you through that stuff. I mean, okay, I take that back. It is their job, but you got to keep them on their job. Let me see. Simplify says, thanks for that one, The Wallace Life. Let's see. I Harvey says, I'm under 221G and we sent 3 letters to the embassy, and if they don't approve my K-1, they should send back our case to the USCIS. So I and my fiance can do a spousal visa. I don't know if you got my messages, but I found somebody who's going through your exact situation. Your 221G was about, they wanted additional chat logs, right? So I went to Visa Journey, great resource, best free resource on the internet, and I start searching for your exact problem, and I found it. So I found somebody who actually also got a 221G for the same thing, and what they did was they sent some letters from the same time frame, right? I think that they had another, like, emails or something. They had other emails or something that they had from that same time frame, because it was from, 7 years ago or whatever, right? 5 years, whatever it was. Then they printed it out and they sent that in with a letter, and the letter just stated, hey, we can't get this. I think it was some theirs was from like some, I can't remember what the chat, like, let's say it's Chatmania or something, right? And let's say it's the site's no longer out there. They just basically sent them a letter saying, hey, we have been in contact since 2007. Unfortunately, we no longer have the chat logs from Chatmania, but here's some other logs and letters that we have to substantiate, as evidence that we were in contact and had a relationship since this time frame, and they've got approved. So that's one thing that you guys could do. So I sent you this in the links of the last video we did. So it's last week's K-1 visa. Look for that, and I put the links to the exact people that I'm telling you about. So I hope that works out for you. I think it will, actually. Linda's World says the AOS fee is $1,200. Yeah, it's not cheap. Yeah, it's upwards of about it's over $1,000, and it might have gone up. So yeah. Let's see. Linda's World says Linda's medical and interview were scheduled before. Awesome. Jennifer says, take care, Bruce. Me and my boyfriend Sam from New York hope to meet you and Yuri when you come to Cebu next year. Ciao. Ciao, Bella. See you later, Jennifer. David says, I will travel to the Philippines to marry her, and starting the process as early as I can. Yeah, just David, only thing I would add, and I don't know your situation, so I'm not assuming anything, but I just want to say as a blanket statement to everyone, make sure before you really get engaged, and if you are engaged and you haven't known each other for very long, just make sure that it's a stable relationship. You know what I mean? Like, know each other's strengths and weaknesses. And Yuri and I talk about this on our channel. It's one of the things that we talk about a lot. It's so important. And the reason why we always bring it up is because a lot of couples, not a lot, I mean, most are pretty successful, or they have a meaningful relationship. But some, I would say about less than 10%, have real bad issues because they didn't know each other long enough. And it is just tragic, like it's like, seems like it's something so easy to fix. Just make sure you have a stable relationship before you go much further, especially before you do the K-1 visa process. All right, let me see what else we have here. Let me see. Thank you for all the videos. You're welcome. I says, thank you, Bruce. No problem. BJ Draw says, hello, Bruce. And if you are a veteran and get married in the Philippines on the CR1, you then go to the VA and turn in the license and start to pay. And there's yeah. So they'll change the status of your VA if you have VA. Yeah, that makes sense. That's true. I didn't actually start the VA process till after I was married, so that wasn't too long ago. Let's see. Christopher says the embassy on Facebook. Christopher says the embassy in the Philippines. Russell Brown works there, and he even said that you don't need a lawyer, just read the government page to get the visa. Yeah, that's true. It's all free. You don't absolutely need a lawyer. You don't need an authorized consultant. You don't even need our awesome book that's going to be a decent price and that's supporting us. You can do this all for free, and we just want to see people succeed. But some people just need a little bit extra help, and that's what we're here to do. Let's see. James Dean says Loida and I are back. NOA 2 approved. Filing papers now. Does she sign the DS 160? Can I sign it for her on her behalf? I know several. Lena's World can answer this one. Lena's World. I would say yes. It's just a digital signature, but the one thing you can't do for her is to that she'll need to do is to print out the confirmation page. So I would say make sure you've uploaded her passport style photo in the DS-160. Make sure you've collaborated with her. You know, you don't want to answer all the questions for her. You know, you're doing it on her behalf, which means you should have her, hey baby, did you do this? Were you a police officer? Were you in the military? All those questions that they ask. You know, you're doing it for her, and then you could, I think it offers you a way, unless they've changed it, to sign on her behalf. You just type her name in there and say submit. Boom. Like, she should probably do it. Like, you should have her log in, and then she says, okay, yeah, this is good. Because, you know, if nothing else, you want her to verify everything that you want her to verify everything that's been done. So that's why I would have her sign it if I were you. But because all she has to do is type her name in there, hit submit, and then it'll say, do you want to print out this confirmation page? And she'll need that to go into the actual U.S. Embassy. So I would actually have her do it if I were you, James. Just my 2 cents. UFan says, oh, and Lena's World says, yes, you can, James. UFam says, James, how long it took before you received the NOA 2? Yeah, James, how long did that take? Inquiring minds want to know. Let's see. Lionel Sanders says, what if you have a felony? Can you still get married in the Philippines if it was over 10 years ago? So CR1, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can get married for sure. I mean, is your question? You can definitely get married if you have a felony, any kind of felony. But I don't know. The one thing I don't know is, can you get the question is, can you get her here on a CR1 with a felony? And that, for the K-1, I can tell you for sure that certain crimes, not felony. It's not that it's a felony or a misdemeanor. It's more like what kind of crime it was. And it has it in the form. So I don't know if CR1 has that same kind of scrutiny. So I would definitely check that for you. It should be in the forms that you're signing. It'll ask you what kind of criminal history or that kind of stuff, right? Because there's certain crimes, and I'll just give you a specific example. If you were ever involved with like human trafficking or something, and that was what your conviction was, for K-1, they're going to look at that very closely, because they're basically just trying to protect the foreign fiancés, because there's been past events where a U.S. petitioner or naturalized citizen has abused their request. They bring their spouse or fiance over here, and then they have them working in a strip club or something, or some crazy stuff like that, or they kill them, which is unfortunately a sad, very sad thing that has happened in the past. So crazy. So they're trying to weed out people who are violent offenders or people who have kidnapped people or exploit people or things like that. So, and every now and then, being in this like expat community, you run across like all these crazy stuff you guys would not believe. Some of the stuff that we hear about, it's unbelievable what human beings are capable of. Let's see. Simplify says, thanks again for your channel and videos. Keep us posted on when you want to travel next year. If we're there in the same time, sure, we can meet up, man. If we're there, we'll let everybody know like when we're going to the Philippines. Right now, Philippines, it's going to be 2019 around this time next year is what we're aiming for. So about 365 days from right now is what we're aiming for. But we'll let you know. We shall let you know. We're going to be meeting people. We're going to be feeding kids. We're going to be traveling. It's going to be great. Linda's World says, I printed and emailed her the confirmation page. Oh, okay. Well, PDF'd. Oh, you printed it out, got the PDF, and then emailed the PDF to her. Okay, that works. That works. So, I don't see any other questions about the K-1 or green card. I can give you guys a quick update on Yuri. Really no update. Same thing. Yuri has gone through the K-1 visa process. We've been married here for about 3.5 years, 4 years, something like that. And she applied for the adjustment of status. She got the 2-year conditional green card. And she already applied for the removal of conditions, which give her the 10-year green card. But what they did was they responded and said, we're going to give you another year extension on your 2-year green card. So that's where we're at right now. We're not worried about anything. Our documentation is pretty solid. It's just going to take time. We're not. The next thing we have to do, which we'll probably document on our channel, is to get Yuri's passport updated because her passport expired. And so for the Philippines, you have to do something. You have to go to a specific consulate, which they have one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast, and one in the Midwest. So we've got to go on the one on the East Coast and get her passport renewed. So that's where we're at. Let's see. BJ says, okay, he's talking to Lionel. We've got, and if you're just joining us on Facebook, what I'm doing is I'm actually on YouTube. So for better interaction with us, we prefer that you talk to us on YouTube. Facebook is a little clunky. Like we don't have as much traction on Facebook. So if you join us on YouTube for more interaction, sometimes we actually do call-ins. You can go to YouTube/Yuri Bruce and you'll find us there. You'll find this live. You'll find us talking to one another, and it's just easier for us to do more interaction for us. So we're focusing on K-1. All right, let's see. What other questions, comments, or complaints do we have? David says, are Philippine marriages recognized here in the U.S.? Can anybody answer that one? I think that you still have to get a marriage license here in the U.S., but I'm not sure. And the marriage licenses are pretty cheap. Like for us, it was like what, $3 or something. And then we just signed a couple documents. That was it. We're done. James Dean says, okay, great. We have collaborated on the DS-160 and did a draft. And friend okay from August 3 to February 13, 2018. Thanks for the input. Thank you. Thanks for that question, James. Appreciate that. Hopefully it can help somebody else out there. All right, let me see if there's any other. We've got about 20 people here with us talking about this K-1 visa stuff. If you guys haven't done so already, hit that thumbs button. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so we can get a little bit of props from Facebook, from YouTube on that. That helps us out. And all your other YouTubers, your favorite YouTubers as well. It's really nice to know like what works and what doesn't work. And your interaction is what kind of gives us confirmation that, yeah, you know what, this is good. We should keep doing this. So always hit that like button whenever you can remember it. Always hit that subscribe button. Post notifications is kind of a special thing. That's only for people that you really want to see everything that they do. But post notifications is also a help. But that thumbs up as well. All right, let's see what else we have here. UFam says, hey Bruce, I checked the visa journey timeline and it shows that I should receive the NOA 2 between June 28 and July 2. How long do you think it is going to take after the medical and interview at the embassy? So that part, you kind of schedule the interview. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but the way it works is really once you get the NOA 2, it's kind of all downhill from there. Like the rest is pretty fast, and it's going to depend on you, because then you and your fiance have to schedule an interview. And let's say you're lucky enough to get one a week from now. Well, that's not necessarily good to get it within a week of getting your NOA 2. And the reason why is because you have to have all your documentation together. Okay, let's say, well, of course I got all my documentation together. I have 5 months to do it. That's all done. I've got the passport. It's, you know, it's not going to expire. It's going really good. Everything's great with that. But the problem is the medical, because you have to have gone through the medical before you actually do the interview. So when you schedule your interview, you have to coordinate that with when your fiance can go do the medical, right? So what Yuri and I did, if I remember correctly, is that Yuri actually lives in Cebu. So she had to fly. We had to arrange that, okay, Yuri is going to fly to Manila. We got to say, okay, man, we got to buy a ticket. You know, we had to really think about it. We had to buy a ticket, and we have to do it on this day because Yuri, you know, is not working. And so she went on this such and such a day. She woke up really early, went to go do the medical. They had some complications, right? So if we had scheduled it like a week out, she had complications, so she actually had to fly back to Manila twice to get that done. So that added an additional week or two to our whole process. She flew back to Cebu, had to fly back to Manila a whole nother like 2 weeks later or something like that to go through this other interview for the medical, because she had complications with the medical. Bam, she passed the medical. Then we scheduled, luckily we had scheduled the interview like, oh man, I think we did it like 3 weeks out or something like that, like a month out. So we had plenty of time to get that medical. So just something to keep in mind for you. So yeah, to answer your question, it really depends on you. It's going to depend on how you do it, when you schedule it, when he or she can go to the medical, and then when they can go to the interview. And what I would do if I were you, if you have time, is get everything done. Get everything. Make sure you have all your documents. Double check your documents. Double check the policies. Make sure you don't forget anything. There's things like what we forgot was it's called the I-134 affidavit of support. I didn't sign it, and I hadn't sent it out, and her interview was in like a week. So we had to figure out how to get that document with my tax documents, with all the other evidence, to her within a week. So just make sure you have everything ready. Traveling Man says, let me and my Thai wife know when you visit Thailand, brother. Oh man, I love Thailand, man. I love Thailand. We've been to Bangkok, we've been to Siam, Ayutthaya, we've been to Pattaya. We love it, man. The people are so nice, so kind. The so peaceful. It's just a great place. I mean, at least that was our experience. BJ says yes, there are. Let me see. Yuri Bruce says, hey everyone, I'm on my way to Colorado. Oh, that's Yuri. Miss you, baby. Miss you. Are you watching this right now? Miss you so much. Miss you like crazy. Okay. Let's see. Lena's World says, hi, Yuri. Simplify says 1918. Simplify 1918 says, by the way, WhatsApp is another great feature to chat. WhatsApp in another great feature to chat in the Philippines. What's another great app? The one we used, Simplify, is Viber. We use that one quite a bit. We also use iMessenger. What else did we use? Yuri, help me out here. What else did we use? We used a lot of video chat. A little bit of Skype. Skype didn't work for us too well because I was working in Kuwait actually at the time, so it just, for whatever reason, it just wouldn't work for us. I don't know why. Let me see. Traveling Man says, "Oh, did you know that 5 military bases are going to be in the Philippines?" Really? I know they got Subic Bay, and then there's Clark Air Force Base. Is that one open again? And then there's a base somewhere in Mindanao. They don't talk about much. So that's 3. I didn't know that there were 5 additional ones. I thought they were kind of cracking down, kicking out foreigners, but guess I'm wrong. Melo says, Melio, how you doing, Melio? Hello, Bruce. Good afternoon to you. Just want to know if you know why and what's the reason why our approved petition from the USCIS NOA2, then I already have my MNL case number from NVC, but then so sad. What do you mean? I don't understand. I want to know, maybe I'm reading this wrong. Just want to know if you know why and what's the reason why our approved petition from or NOA2, then okay, I don't understand your I'm sorry, Melio, I don't understand the wording of your question. I don't want to give you wrong information, so if you could ask again. I apologize, I don't understand. Simplify says, hi, Yuri. The Wallace Life says, a marriage is not recognized in the... Okay, the Wallace Life. Wallace Life knows. So if you guys didn't know, the Wallace Life is a YouTuber who is a African American and a beautiful Filipina. They have a wonderful kids, and they have a YouTube channel. Please check them out. But they actually went through this process. I believe they were married in the U.S., in the Philippines, and came here, now living here in the U.S. somewhere. And he says, a marriage is not recognized in the U.S. unless you register your marriage contract at your downtown government office. It's not required, but it is a good thing if you do register it. There you go. So I think he's talking about, and correct me if I'm wrong, Wallace Life, but you mean the county clerk's office. Usually your local county government handles marriages, divorces, all that kind of stuff. So that must be what he's talking about. Let me see. Melio Garza says, because the USCIS reviewed our case, then we need to wait 180 days. U.S. reviewed our case, and then we need to wait 100. I need to know a little bit more context. I apologize, Melio, but are you a K-1? Okay, let's start with question 1. Are you doing K-1 visa? That's question number 1. Because from answering these, it sounds like K-1 visa, but could be CR1. So let's just establish that. Are you doing K-1 visa? Let's answer that one, then I'll answer another question so we can make this as clear as possible. Let's see. Lena's World. All right, before we go any further, all you guys out there on Facebook, I want you to join us every week this time frame. It's a 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Join us on YouTube. So you can do a live with us. Sometimes we actually have people call in. We can hear your beautiful voice. I'm going to shut this live on Facebook down so I can just focus on YouTube. But if you want to join us on these lives and ask questions and be a part of our larger internet community where we talk about these things, please join us. And right now you can actually still, I'm going to keep going with YouTube, but join us on YouTube. See you guys later. Alright, so I'm going to focus on just one. That makes it a little bit easier for me. Let me see. Upload HD and share. Okay. Let's see here. Lena's World says, we scheduled the interview 3 weeks after the medical to allow enough time to get the medical results back. Yeah, that's what you do. Yeah, because I know in some countries, like there's a country in Africa, I want to say it's Ghana, where it takes 2 weeks to get the results back. So, you know, if it's 2 weeks to get the results back, you have to allow that amount of time to pass before you do the interview. Otherwise, you're going to go there, you're going to get an RFE, or maybe they'll stop it and you have to reschedule it. So give it time. Let's see what else we have here. Lena's World says WhatsApp is good. Yeah, I never used WhatsApp. And WhatsApp is a phone app, right? Yes. Yep. They use that one a lot in Southeast Asia, I noticed. It's really big there. Yuri says... Alright, I'm not going to read that one. Lena's World says, oh, that's sweet. The Wallace Live says, yes. Melio says, yes, Bruce, we use K-1 visa. Okay, you're doing K-1 visa. So now my next question is, did you already get the NOA 2? And NOA 2 is a Notice of Action 2, which is a letter from the USCIS stating that you are approved and you have to do such and such a step. So that's my next question to you. Jennifer says, that's not corny at all. It's just very sweet. Jennifer says, that's why an LDR is so hard, especially after meeting in person. Yeah, that's so true. Chris Rios says, whoa, 4 months. I'm doing the K-1. No, Chris Rios. I hope you're still on. It no longer takes 4 months. It no longer takes 4 months, man. It takes 8 to 9 months. Start to finish, probably 9 to 10 months, to be honest with you. I'm doing the K-1, but hired an agency called Filipina Fiance Visa. Apparently, it will take about 8 months just to receive the NOA 2. Yes. There you go. Okay, so you already know. Melio Garza says, sorry, Bruce, my message here is not complete, but it won't send if I write a long message. No problem. So that's why I'm asking you in part, so I can understand what you mean. So we know so far you have a K-1, but what I need to know now is, did you get the NOA 2? That means a letter of approval from the USCIS that went to the US petitioner stating that, hey, you are approved. Now the next step is to do this and that, and we're sending your package to another organization called the National Visa Center. You should have gotten that letter. But if you know you're approved, or if you still don't know if you're approved, I need to know, because I can tell you like different things. Like if you didn't know that if you don't know if you're approved, there's a way that you can go to uscis.gov and track it. So, and if you are approved, then what you need to do next is contact National Visa Center, and I can give you contact information for that. So that's why I need to know what your next step is. James Dean says, I am planning a trip to Hong Kong and the Philippines, and Loida's mom's birthday. For Loida's mom's birthday, a family reunion, our reception there in August this year, and hopefully to accompany her back to the United States. That's great. That's great. Good luck and congratulations to you, sir, Mr. James. UFAM says, one last question. After I receive the NOA 2 and all documents I need, affidavit, papers, forms from me, what do she need besides medical, police record? Just trying to get a nice checklist together. Okay, let me Let me show you. We just give you a list of things here. I'm just going through our book where we've detailed everything and give examples, sample documents that you can use for your process. We haven't released the book yet. It's gonna be soon? Question mark? Yeah, so I want to show you guys what we have here. All right, let me switch screens. No, that's not the one. That's the one. Okay, there we go. So we're going through the I-129F, and I want to show you the little checklist we put together. See all those little documents? We got pictures, Army instructions. No offense to Army. Just walks you through everything, breaks everything down, explains every part. It's an awesome reference guide, sample documents, some real world documents that we had to actually blot out. Our social security numbers is real in-depth stuff here that I'm scrolling through. I'm trying to find, see, we even talk about step 5, the interview, breakdown of interview questions, the medical, what they look for, Yuri's actual medical documents. Well, not the actual medical documents, but like receipts and giving examples of what the instructions, everything. There's medical overview, but what I'm looking for is it's just a lot of stuff here, guys. It's a long book. It's like 200 pages long. Let me see if I can find it. It should be in part 3. Part 3 breaks down everything that the petitioner needs. All right, so I'm in the section now, but there's a really good breakdown I'm trying to get to. This is the I-134 she'll have to have from you, from the U.S. petitioner. Has to be sent that with evidence that you make a certain amount of money. Excuse me. And that's one of the documents you'll have to have. Let me see, where is that damn list? This thing is so comprehensive. Maybe it's in step 5, because step 4, here it is. Got it. There we go. Okay, let's start from the top. So, very quickly, who answered that question? Whoever answered this question, asked this question, was they wanted to know, what else does the foreign fiance need to go to the embassy? Like they're armed with everything that they need to defeat the enemy, which is the consular officer. I'm joking. Anyway, so you need a DS-160 confirmation page, or she's going to need that. That comes from the DS-160. Medical report, you already know that. Passport, and the passport has to be valid for at least 6 months. You'll need she'll need a certified birth certificate. And if you go to get this birth certificate, you should have multiple copies of the birth certificate. NBI clearance, which is also known as a police clearance. In the Philippines, that's called an NBI clearance. If they've been to any other countries, they have to get a police clearance or police certificate from those countries. And that's only if they were there for, if they lived in those countries abroad, working or whatever, for 6 months, and they're under the age or older than 16 years old, then they have to actually have a police clearance from those countries. So let's say, like Jay Barnes, his wife is in Hong Kong. She worked in Hong Kong for 6 months or more. She's older than 16, obviously. So she had to actually go to Hong Kong and get the police clearance from them to be a part of her package. Copies of the court and prison records. If she's ever been to court, If she has police records, she was in jail for a short period of time, yeah, she's got to get the records for that. If she's ever been in the military or police service or paramilitary or anything like that, then yeah, she needs to bring in what we call, like, similar to what we in the military veterans call DD 214, something like that. Basically, it just tells you, okay, here's how long this person served, here are the jobs that they had, here are the awards that they got, things like that. Evidence of a genuine relationship. That's photos of you guys together. That's letters, email, like basically like chat logs, declaration of how you met, things like that is what they want to see. Let me see. Termination of marriages. If you were ever previously married, they're going to need that. If she was ever previously married, they're going to need divorce decrees, annulments, things like that. Death certificate if their previous relationship, if they died. Certified certificate of no marriage. This is only applies to certain countries, but Philippines is one of them. And they do something called Sinomar, or certificate of no marriage, that she'll have to have as well. Evidence of support, evidence of ongoing support. This is evidence of the ability to support your ability to support the foreign fiance. That means like a DS. It's not a DS-160. It's a Form I-134 affidavit of support. The U.S. petitioner has to fill that out, sign it, and then it'll ask you, like, how much money do you make a year? Do you have any assets? Do you own a home? They're trying to establish how much, if you're able financially to support your foreign fiance when you bring them here. So that's why they ask you that, and that's why you have to fill out that form. So in addition to the I-134, you have to actually provide tax documentation. Your most recent tax documentation should show how much money you made over that year. And then you can also do, like, if you own a home, you can actually put your deed in there. You could do a employment verification form saying that, you know, yay, verily, this person works at Bank of America. They make X amount of dollars with the Bank of America letterhead there. That's the kind of stuff that you need. She's going to need 4 visa photos, visa style photos. They use those to actually put in the passport. And then a DHS, Department of Homeland Security documents. And this only applies to certain people. Like if you've already been through the process, then you, how would this apply to you? Most people, this one is not going to apply to. But let's say that the foreign fiance 5 years ago, they came to the United States and they actually had to get some kind of documents there. They might have a record here in the U.S., meaning a record of, like, yeah, they were here for 3 months and they were here on work or whatever, or they were actually maybe got engaged here, but they were on a K-1 and they went back because they decided not to do it. That in those cases, they might actually have some DHS documents, like a USCIS documentation, immigration documentation. So in those cases, you wouldn't want to give those to. So I hope that answered your questions. I went a little bit too deep on that one, and I apologize for that. So now I have 14 users left because I've been talking for like 14 minutes straight on one thing. Let me see. What other questions do I have? James says, okay, I already answered that one. Lionel Sanders says, Bruce, I haven't been to the Philippines in over 20 years, and I have lost a retired Marine. Do you prefer? I guess you're saying you're a retired Marine. Semper Fi. Do you prefer Cebu over Manila? Yes, I do. I love Cebu, man. I love Cebu. I think maybe I'm kind of biased because, well, number one, I don't. It's too crowded. The minute I got into Manila, some dudes tried to scam me. Like the minute I stepped off the plane, I was trying to get a taxi cab, and these guys, they got me, you know, and I'm like, wow, you know, I mean, I confronted them and everything, but I didn't have that experience in Cebu. Cebu was really nice. And like I said, I think I'm biased because I met my wife there, and it was just like a spiritual experience for me. It was really special. Jay Barnes says, WhatsApp is good because you can easily download the chat logs. I didn't know that. Without having to do screenshots. Wow, thanks, Jay Barnes. That's good information. Instigator, who has sponsored this very cast, says, I used WeChat. Wow, that's the Chinese version of what do we have here that's like that? Facebook? I use WeChat, just like Facebook. Oh, but easier, and video calls are great. Oh, that's awesome. Melio Garza says, they returned it to the USCIS for review. Wait, so, okay, I'm still missing something. Did you say something up here? Let me see. Melio, so what I need to know is, and maybe you said it up here. Let me see. I'm going to go back. Maybe I missed your message. Melio says, so here's my question. My fiance from Washington filed a K-1. Then he already received an NOA-1. Okay, that's good. That's a receipt. NOA-2, all right, that's an approval. And the NVC mailed our Manila case number. Okay. But then, instead of forwarding it to the U.S. Embassy in Manila, it says it's been returned to the USCIS for review. Whoa. Did they give you a reason? I've never heard of this. This is interesting. That is very interesting. Why would they return it? Did you miss a part on the form? Because there's a part on the form where you have to indicate what embassy it goes to. So if you missed that, maybe they didn't know where to send it. And so they sent it back to USCIS. That's what it sounds like to me. I mean, otherwise you guys are approved. I mean, obviously you're approved, but if they don't know where to send it, you know what I mean? Like how they don't know, they have to know what embassy to send. Maybe I'm kind of just speculating, Melio, but they should have. Usually they're good about telling you why they denied it, or why they sent it back, or why they need more information. Melio says, we already received the NOA-1, NOA-2, and mailed from the National Visa Center, but instead of forwarding it to the embassy for an interview, it says in the National Visa Center letter that return to USCIS and wait for 180 days. I've never heard of this. I want to pose a question to the group. Have you guys ever heard of anything like this? This one's got me curious. Melio, why don't you give me your contact information? I had something that really ate at me last week, and I was able to find the answer for her. So if you give me the problem with it is I couldn't find her after I found this information, and I was putting it in the comments and everything, but I don't know if she even ever seen it. But Melio, I can find this out. I'm pretty good at research. So I've never heard of this, so I'm very interested in this one. Out of all the hundreds and thousands of people that we've talked to and helped, I've never heard of this before. So yeah, I want to pose this question to the group. Like, have you guys ever heard of a package being from the USCIS being approved, NOA-2, going to the National Visa Center, getting the case number, and then the National Visa Center saying, we're going to send this back to USCIS. You have to wait 180 days. I've never heard of that before. So give me your contact information. In fact, let me give you my contact information. Yuri and I's contact information. So you can contact us on Facebook. So reach us on Facebook if you want the answer to this, because I'm going to find it out. Just go to Yuri Bruce on Facebook. That's where we're at. And send me a message so you and I can contact one another back and forth. If I can't get a hold of you and I find the answer, I'm gonna put it in the link in the comments below, and I'll pin it so you can see it. All right, because I'm actually very curious about that one. Let me see. Oh, and Yuri's about to board the plane. See you soon, Yuri. It's like 7 o'clock, so I gotta go pick her up in like a few hours. Let me see. Very good advice you gave me. Marriage is easy to get into, but hard to get out of. Oh my Lord. Yes, it is. All right, so I think that's it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this stream here. Really appreciate everyone. Appreciate all of the questions, great questions. And to Miss Garza, please contact me on Facebook at Yuri Bruce.